This is breaking news in the world of global currency and financial revaluation. All eyes are once again turning to Iraq as one of the most influential voices in the IQD community. Frank26 has just released a powerful and urgent prediction. According to his latest statement, the long-speculated and closely monitored digital Iraqi Dinar, commonly referred to as the Digital IQD, is expected to go live within the next 7 days. That's right. Frank26 is now stating with a tone of firm confidence that we are potentially just days away from a historic financial shift, one that could impact not only Iraq's economic future, but ripple across global markets in ways that are still difficult to fully grasp. This isn't just another rumor floating around in the endless sea of speculation. This prediction is coming from someone whose reputation in the dinar community has been built over decades, and whose insights are often cited as the first indicators of a shift. Frank26's words carry weight, and the gravity in his recent statements is drawing intense attention. In his recent broadcast, he laid out a timeline that is shorter, sharper, and more specific than almost anything we've seen in the last several years. 7 days. That's the clock he's set. According to Frank, preparations for the digital infrastructure required to support the Digital IQD are complete or in their final testing phases. Central banks, private banks, and digital platforms have reportedly been briefed. Frank emphasized that internal communications within Iraq have shifted from theoretical policy planning to operational deployment. In simpler terms, this means the Digital IQD is no longer a future vision. It is a product that is ready to launch. This aligns with growing global trends towards central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs, as nations scramble to modernize their financial systems, ensure traceability, and maintain monetary control in an increasingly digitized global economy. In Iraq's case, the implications are even more far-reaching. The digital dinar would represent a massive step toward economic reform, stability, and integration into the international financial system. It could also open the door for the long-awaited revaluation, or RV, of the Iraqi dinar, a development that investors have anticipated for years. According to Frank26, the activation of the Digital IQD could be the final trigger event that leads to a drastic shift in the official exchange rate. He's suggesting that we may be looking at a complete recalibration of the dinar's value within the same 7-day window. What's especially interesting, and what adds an additional layer of credibility to Frank's timeline, is the timing of regional and international moves. Iraq has been conducting financial reforms behind the scenes, particularly in terms of digitizing government systems, regulating currency flow, and controlling dollar smuggling through strict banking mechanisms. Frank pointed to these developments as signs of a controlled rollout, with the Digital IQD acting as the final piece of the puzzle. Adding further to the speculation are reports that several international platforms and institutions are now prepared to recognize a digital version of the IQD. That would mean integration into systems that until now had only acknowledged Iraq's currency in its physical form. According to Frank, the signals being sent to financial observers and insiders are clear. Something major is about to happen. And while nothing has been officially confirmed by Iraq's central bank, the consistency of these signs cannot be ignored. Frank26 stopped short of declaring a revaluation will occur within the 7-day timeframe, but he made it clear that the Digital IQD going live would dramatically increase the likelihood of that event. He called it a necessary step for value change, arguing that the current economic conditions in Iraq would not support a significant rate shift without a digital mechanism in place. In his words, "You can't move into a new value era using old tools." The Digital IQD, then, isn't just a technological update, it's a prerequisite to everything that follows. This is where the stakes get even higher. If Frank is right, and if Iraq launches the digital dinar in 7 days, the global currency landscape may need to brace for aftershocks. Investors who have held on to physical dinars, some for more than a decade, would be watching closely for signs of a rate shift. Financial institutions would need to rapidly adapt to a newly issued digital asset with legal tender status. Governments would likely begin reviewing their policies on currency holdings and digital exchange systems. It would be more than a local financial decision, it would be a global event. But what does this mean for the everyday person watching this unfold? According to Frank26, anyone with an interest in the IQD should be prepared mentally, financially, and logistically. This includes staying informed, reviewing currency holdings, and watching for official statements from the Central Bank of Iraq. He also advised caution, stating clearly that while this is his most confident prediction to date, it remains a projection based on current signals. As with any major financial development, timelines can shift and unexpected delays can arise. But his conviction was clear. This is no longer a distant horizon. It's right in front of us. Frank26 also hinted at the potential consequences of missing this window. He believes the shift to a digital IQD could change how currency holders interact with their assets. In short, physical dinars may be phased out or exchanged under new rules, and those unprepared for that transition could face challenges in redemption or recognition. He stressed that this shift is not merely about valuation. It's about modernization and alignment with a rapidly digitizing world. His comments have set social media and currency forums ablaze, with debates intensifying over the timeline, the likelihood of revaluation, and the mechanics of conversion from physical to digital dinars. Some see this as the culmination of years of waiting and believe Iraq has no choice but to evolve. Others remain skeptical, pointing out the history of delays, internal instability, and regional politics. But even among critics, there is agreement that something unusual is happening. The coordinated silence from Iraq's financial authorities, coupled with visible changes in banking operations and international communications, suggests that the next 7 days may be anything but ordinary. As for the global financial community, the rollout of the Digital IQD would be closely watched as a case study in rapid digital transformation. Central banks in other countries, especially those also exploring digital currencies, may use Iraq's move as a benchmark, either to accelerate their own projects or avoid similar challenges. Frank26's prediction is now part of a much larger global conversation. At this point, what remains is simple: waiting and watching. Frank26 has thrown down the gauntlet with a clear and measurable statement. In 7 days, according to his analysis, the Digital IQD will go live. That statement is either going to be proven correct with a wave of historic announcements and digital deployment, or it will be delayed yet again, pushing the hopes of investors further down the road. But even if the exact timing proves slightly off, the sentiment across the board is changing. There is a growing sense that Iraq is no longer talking about modernization, it is acting on it. This could be the moment that transforms a long-speculated possibility into a concrete, irreversible reality. Whether you're an investor, an analyst, or simply someone following one of the most intriguing currency stories of our time, the next 7 days could be pivotal. Frank26 has made his call. The Digital IQD may be about to change the game, and the countdown has already begun.